I used to believe that real friendship could survive anything, that when life got hard, the people closest to you would stand by your side no matter what. I was wrong. This story is about the one person I trusted more than anyone else, and how he betrayed me for nothing more than money. We met when we were kids. He was like a brother to me. We shared everything, dreams, secrets, even the same plans for the future. People used to joke that if you saw me, he wasn't far behind. And honestly, they weren't wrong. As we grew older, life started to test us. Jobs, relationships, responsibilities, everything changed, but I believed our bond never would. Then came the opportunity that I thought would change both of our lives. A small business idea. I was nervous, but he convinced me it was worth the risk. We put everything into it, money, time, even sleepless nights. At first, it felt like we were finally building the life we'd always dreamed of. But slowly, I started to notice something strange. At first, it was little things. A few missing receipts, some numbers that didn't quite add up. I thought maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I was just tired and reading too much into it. After all, this was my best friend, the guy I trusted with my life. Why would he lie to me? But the more I looked, the clearer it became. Money was disappearing, and every time I asked about it, he had some excuse ready. Oh, I paid for supplies, or, don't worry, I'll balance it out next week. His answers sounded convincing enough, but something in his tone made me uneasy. One night, I stayed late at our office, double-checking invoices. That's when I found an account I didn't recognize. Transfers were being made regularly, but not to our business expenses, to his personal account. My chest tightened as I scrolled through the records. He had been siphoning money behind my back for months. The next morning, I confronted him. I can still remember the way he looked at me, not with guilt, not with regret, but with cold indifference. He didn't even try to deny it. Instead, he smirked and said, "Come on, man, you really thought we were equals in this? I put in more. I deserve more." His words hit me harder than any punch could. All those years of friendship, every moment we'd shared, reduced to a cheap excuse for betrayal. I wanted to scream, to fight, but I just stood there, stunned, as he walked away like I meant nothing. That was the moment I realized sometimes, the person you'd take a bullet for is the one holding the gun. After that confrontation, things spiraled quickly. I tried to salvage the business, but the damage was already done. Clients started calling, asking about invoices that didn't match their payments. Suppliers demanded money I didn't know we owed. Every problem I uncovered had his fingerprints all over it. The betrayal spread like poison through my life. Mutual friends began avoiding me, whispering behind my back. Some of them even believed his story, that I was the one who mishandled everything. He painted himself as the victim, claiming I was blaming him to cover up my own failures. The hardest part wasn't losing money, it was losing trust. I'd built my life around this friendship, and now I had nothing to hold on to. At night, I'd lie awake replaying every conversation we'd had, every joke we'd shared, wondering if any of it had ever been real. I tried reaching out, hoping there was still some shred of the friend I once knew. But every time, he brushed me off, or, worse, laughed at me. "Grow up," he'd say. "It's just business. Stop being so emotional." Those words cut deeper than the theft itself. Because for me, it wasn't just business. It was years of loyalty, sacrifices, and blind trust. And in return, I was left standing alone, while he enjoyed the profits of my silence. That was the point I realized, he hadn't just taken my money. He had stolen my faith in people. The weeks that followed were some of the darkest in my life. I was drowning in debt, stress, and humiliation. My family kept asking what had gone wrong, and I didn't even know how to explain it without sounding like a fool. How could I tell them that the man I called my brother had destroyed me for a pile of cash? I started noticing things I'd ignored before. The little red flags I had brushed off now screamed at me. The times he insisted on handling deals his way, the nights he stayed late in the office after I left. The sudden expensive clothes and gadgets he claimed were gifts or discounts. Looking back, it was all so obvious. I just refused to see it because I didn't want to believe he was capable of stabbing me in the back. One day, I confronted him face to face for the last time. I demanded answers, some kind of explanation. He didn't flinch. He didn't apologize. He leaned back in his chair, smirked, and said, "You're too soft for this world." I did what I had to do. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Those words shattered something inside me. That moment, I knew the friend I once loved like a brother was gone. Maybe he had never even existed. All I saw was a stranger who wore his mask too well for too long. After that, I cut all ties, deleted his number, blocked him everywhere, and told myself I'd never let him back into my life. But even as I tried to move on, the scars remained. Every handshake felt suspicious. Every smile looked fake. I had learned the hardest lesson of my life. Sometimes, the enemy isn't the stranger outside your circle. It's the one sitting right next to you, calling you, brother. Months passed, and I slowly started rebuilding my life from scratch. It wasn't easy. Every deal I made, every new person I met, carried the weight of doubt. Trust had become a luxury I couldn't afford anymore. But here's the thing, betrayal doesn't just break you, it reshapes you. I became sharper, tougher, and more careful with who I let into my circle. The pain of losing what I had built forced me to grow in ways I never expected. One evening, as I walked past a cafe, I saw him again, my so-called best friend. He was sitting alone, his expensive clothes worn out, his phone cracked, his face heavier with stress. Our eyes met for a brief second. For the first time, I didn't feel anger or hatred, just pity. That's when it hit me. He had traded loyalty for money, but in the end, he lost both. He might have won the game in the short run, but he sacrificed something he could never get back: trust, friendship, and respect. I walked away without saying a word. And in that moment, I realized the truth. Sometimes, life takes everything from you just to show you who you really are. And though I lost a friend, I gained a lesson that will stay with me forever. Trust is the most expensive thing in the world, because once it's broken, can never truly be fixed.